People tuned in and they tuned in just to watch a commercial about Hennessy. And that just felt, it just felt
Cheap.
sincere. It just felt like he was using his platform in a way that really wasn't fair.
Well, I mean, I don't know how I connect the dots with Harry and Meghan here, but I reached out to you after I saw that video and I said, let's talk about the brand Harry and Meghan. And I think one of the reasons that there is so much.
All right, let's talk about the Harry and Meghan brand, that fascinating, chaotic roller coaster of fame, PR, and public opinion. This conversation, originally quite buttoned up and analytical, can be unpacked into something much more digestible and human, because honestly, that's the irony of it all. The Sussex's biggest issue right now is exactly that. They lost touch with what feels human, real, and relatable. When Harry and Meghan first left the royal family, they had insane global goodwill. People rooted for them, the modern royals who dared to walk away from the stiff upper lip of the firm.
Disdain for Harry and Meghan in the States today is because their brand was built on something maybe they weren't while they were working members of the royal family. And they come over to the United States and you see how money motivated they are, which to be fair, they kind of have to be. But you see that they are kind of relentless in their entertainment pursuits, whether it's Meghan at Paris Fashion Week, her Netflix series, her podcasts, and you think, oh, well, that's not what I fell in love with. I'm disappointed in what you turned out to be. Am I do you see how I could how as a royal watcher we might be disappointed in that evolution?
Yeah, people pivot. I
Yeah.
totally get it. Yeah.
This is quite the pivot. This is quite the pivot. Well, so when they stepped down as working royals, their personal brand had immense global goodwill. They even said that they were going to live a life of service. Um, how do you think that goodwill eroded so quickly? Was it sitting down with Oprah Winfrey and being critical of the British royal family? Is it the perpetual complaining? They're always, even Meghan was in DC yesterday talking to Fortune, and she said that she needed the first few years after she left the royal family to heal. And you're like, oh my God, don't open this wound again. Is it a lack of authenticity, which you see when you're scrolling through TikTok and all the parodies with Meghan Markle? Is it the lack of a legitimate strategy, or is it all the above?
Well, first thing is, you never really want to badmouth your ex-employer, right? Like that's like a rule that we all have.
Holy cow, is that not the truth?
And I think that that's what they're struggling. That was the first step, right? And it's worth the world knowing what goes on within the royal family. But at the same time, the reason why people love the royal family is because it's so secretive, right?
Mm.
Like if we had full access into everything, everybody would probably hate them. It's the reason why we it's the reason why we love celebrity, right? Like we create this image of who they are based off of what we don't actually know about them.
Mm-hmm.
People always say like, don't meet your heroes.
Ah, that is so great. When I list off a bunch of these things to you, like multiple podcasts, multiple series, some scripted, some unscripted, um, what else? She does calligraphy. She's selling jam now. Do you get a sense of strategy whatsoever, or does it feel like they're just throwing everything at the wall and trying to see what sticks?
What it sounds like is they're trying a lot of things at once.
Mm. And is that okay, or is it not okay when you? I mean, to me, I feel like it's cheapened their brand because as they leave the British royal family, they're on such a pedestal,
Mhm.
and every time they try and fail at something, or it feels like a cheap grab and it's not authentic, like Meghan Markle in a kitchen, get out of here. I feel like it it makes their brand less of the powerhouse that it was initially.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think like when you look at the entire ecosystem of celebrity, everybody has a lane, right?
Mm,
Like, you just mentioned Jam. Like I immediately go to Martha Stewart, right?
right.
Like Martha Stewart for the longest time was really only known for one thing, and that was like home ec, essentially, right? Like, I hope that's not
No, you're fine. You're not going to get canceled here.
right. Like she made beautiful spaces. That is she made beautiful spaces and places and events. That is what she's known for. She since has expanded. So I think maybe in this case what we're seeing is they're entering public life in a much more revealing way outside of the royal family. And rather than finding their lane,
They promise a life of service, independence, and authenticity. But then came Netflix deals, Spotify podcasts, Montecito mansions, and Fashion Week appearances. Suddenly, they weren't royal rebels, they were celebrities. And not just any celebrities, overexposed ones. There's a fascinating takeaway buried in all this. A brand, whether a company, a celebrity, or a royal exile, thrives on mystery and focus. You don't need to show people everything.
they're going very broad. And that creates confusion because there's the jam maker and then there's the people who love to um, give their time on the weekends, right?
Hmm.
Who like how are people going to know who she really is and how to identify with her if she's doing all these things? It's tough. I will say though, in her defense, we're humans, we're multifaceted, right? But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you have to put everything out there,
Yeah. Chill
right?
out. Chill
You,
out. Pump the brakes, lady.
you
All
could
right. So
jam
if
alone. You could
yeah.
jam alone, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. If I had to describe their professional reputation since they stepped back as working royals, because you like, we're very honestly, Harry and Meghan are maybe not in my algorithm, and I respect that. Okay. But I would use terms like overexposure, poor
Mhm.
strategy, and inconsistency as someone that works with high profile clients. How detrimental are those characteristics to a brand?
I mean, overexposure is massive,
Mm,
right? I think when it comes to brands, the more you can get in front of people, the better. But that doesn't mean that you show them everything, every part of you. And I think that that's really the component of overexposure is if you are revealing too much about yourself too frequently, all of a sudden the mystery's gone. I was speaking with an art dealer the other day, and we were talking about like how do you get these artists more well known? And what we landed on was that you do not want to show how the sausage gets made. You don't want to show how the art is made because all of a sudden the value you realize the value of that art is purely the canvas and the acrylic that's on it. Right?
mm,
When really the reality is the value of things when it comes to celebrity, when it comes to brands, is the value you assign to it.
wow. Oh, that gave me chills. Like I'm coming to your TED talk. I'll be in the front row. All right. I know that you're not 100% familiar with all of the spider web that is this company and brand and entity, Harry and Meghan Archwell, but they one thing that really gets under my skin is on the humanitarian side, their motto is show up, do good. And for the most part, we see them on red carpets or accepting awards. I don't see a lot of the doing good, but from the brand perspective, show up, do good. Is it just lazy enough and vague enough to where they don't have to be held accountable because they're not very specific about what they stand for?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think like show up, show up, do good's pretty broad, right? It is. And I think I don't know much about them. What I'm hearing though is that what we want to see is less about the awards and more about the doing good,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like you do want to, and I know that Harry's mom was big into that, right? She publicized a lot of the work that she did. Um, but I think when you have a platform like that, the doing good is less relevant to the encouraging other people to do good
Ooh.
because they could do good quietly.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Two people can do as much as they can, right? Like everybody else does it. It's the publicizing of the hey, I did this starts to feel not great.
Yeah. It feels a little icky.
Yeah.
I should have put this question closer to the top when we were talking about the Martha Stewart of it all. But do you think that Harry and Meghan, maybe even Meghan specifically, misunderstand their target audience? Um, I think that Meghan is under the impression that royal watchers are her target audience, and that those are ladies that are canon and jamming. Like, they're the ones critiquing her because they feel like she's doing it incorrectly. But I don't think that that's really her. I think her audience is younger. I don't, I think that they're not going to want to spend $21 on a jar of honey. Um, I just think that maybe they miscalculated specifically who was going to whip out the credit card for them.
You don't need to reinvent every 6 months. You just need to do one thing really well and stand by it. Harry and Meghan have forgotten that. They are trying to win every audience, every conversation, every market. And by doing so, they become everything and nothing. That's why their critics are louder than ever. Because people don't know what they stand for anymore, and when people can't define you, they stop caring about you.
Yeah, I think that I mean, I'm not confident that they've done this, but there's a world where you over focus group everything.
Mm.
Right. And what happens is when you over focus group everything, you find the lowest common denominator, which all of a sudden is irrelevant to no one. And it goes back to the to that saying that you hear over and over again, but if you speak to everybody, nobody listens.
Mm.
You just want to be specific and dive deep, right? You want to do good and do that one thing really well. If jams are going to be her thing, by the way, my mom used to have a jam company.
Oh,
So I'll have to watch her jam videos and I'll let you know if I think she's doing it wrong. Um,
well,
she,
does your mom use the tongs?
she did.
Okay, well, Megan I'm assuming it's accidentally uses the tongs upside down in her promotional pictures, where the rubber, you're supposed to have your hands on the rubber so that your fingers don't get burned by the steam and the heat. Your fingers are supposed to be wrapped around the rubber part. Megan
Right.
uses the rubber part around the lid, and she's holding the metal side shaped for the lid
Oh,
top.
yeah.
So
Also,
it's upside down, girl. It's upside down.
rubber melts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to watch that and give me your feedback after you do that. So we've seen them pivot from humanitarian work to entertainment to podcasting to lifestyle. You've talked about it just a second ago. How damaging is that lack of focus to public perception? You were saying find something that you really are great at and give it your all.
Exactly. I think like if you're gonna focus on any one thing, just you need to do that one thing importantly. And you mentioned this earlier, but they I would imagine they get trolled quite a bit more than most people.
Mm.
And and if you're gonna go broad and do a million things, you're gonna get trolled by a million different groups of people, right? And like for some reason I'm thinking about Leonardo DiCaprio right now.
I'm
He
always thinking about him. That makes perfect sense to me.
he only gets trolled for one thing.
His girlfriends.
His girlfriend, that's the only thing that anybody ever has bad to say about him, right?
Wow.
But
Yeah.
because he doesn't really give much away and he does great work. Like he made every movie studio sign up to do more environmental work, right? Like in theory, a good guy, except he has this one thing that he plays around with. And one group of people, like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care
That's,
either. Like I wish
right?
I was 25. I wish I was 24 and a half so I could, meet that limit. I get that. Yeah.
There's probably way less people that care about that than like if he was doing 20 things publicly, all of a sudden you 20x the things that you're going to get trolled for, right?
Ah, yes. Oh, I totally understand what you're saying.
Like
Well,
in the case of Megan, if she didn't get into the jam world wouldn't be trolling her.
yeah. They would
Right.
be like, that's none of my business. I'm just going to look away. But yes, she has involved herself in the jam space. Um, so for about a year, her company was going to be called American Riviera Orchard. And in February, when she actually launched, she changed the name to As Ever. We saw her today, or I'm sorry, yesterday in DC talking about how she's looking to grow in Q4 and using all this hip lingo. But she did make it sound like she might be pivoting to beauty or fashion. How many times can a brand relaunch before people stop caring, before they become numb to it?
I don't think there's a hard and fast rule, but
Yeah.
you can do it until people stop caring.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
we
know.
found the person that's challenging that, and it is Meghan Markle.
I guess so. I mean, there must be some sort of insight there that her audience wants this from her, right? I would assume that it's an informed decision or maybe it's an interest. The issue, though, to your point, is if you're going to do this every 6 months, all of a sudden you're not really sure what to pay attention to. And like you see this a lot with rebrands, right? Like brands will brands will rebrand for the sake for a very good business reason, right? But what ends up happening is if you over rebrand, you alienate your original customers. And those are the people that love you and have spent a lot of money with you, right? And would have continued to spend money, but the second that you rebrand and it no longer applies to them, they're going to lose faith in you. They're going to
Mm.
stop being interested.
Does Cracker Barrel fall? I never got into the whole Cracker Barrel thing, but I know
They
that
went
there were a
back.
lot of people so mad about the logo.
They went back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were like, we surrender.
Yeah.
Here's a
Coca-Cola, they reformulated, they went back. If I had like a few minutes, I could. A former employer of mine didn't go back.
Mhm.
They rebranded and it was detrimental,
Ooh.
right? And so like it's just the reality of the space. Like, and people are brands at this point. Like people are brands. You need to treat yourself like a brand.
At the start of their post-royal journey, Harry and Meghan had something truly rare, the world's empathy. But instead of nurturing it, they commodified it. Instead of focusing on one mission, they Mondayize every narrative. Now, they are caught in a strange limbo, overexposed, undertrusted, constantly rebranding, constantly explaining, and increasingly irrelevant to both royal fans and modern audiences. It's not too late for them to fix it. But the fix isn't another brand launch or podcast. It's silence, focus, authentic service. Do one thing, do it well, and let the work speak louder than the PR machine. Until they learn that Meghan's upside-down jam tongs might just be the perfect metaphor for their entire brand. Expensive, overproduced, and held completely the wrong way around.